Hey, it's Stephen Warner with Lawn Buddy. I'm super excited today to talk to you about your next Lawn Buddy Masterclass, which is all around keeping your crew and talent. And it's one of my favorite subjects to talk about. Absolutely one thing that I'm very passionate about. And it all boils down to one simple thing. And that one simple thing is you. It all depends on you as the business owner your leadership. So when it comes down to keeping and retaining the talent that you have, right? They're looking to you as the leader of the business to do a couple simple things, right? That's going to be effectively communicate with them, which means you're setting the standard, right? Your employees know what you expect from them. Oftentimes as business owners, we don't do this. We think that because we understand it so much, we just assume our employees are going to get what we're trying to do as well, whether that's with a job, whether that's with benefits, anything. Always over communicate. It's something that I have to tell myself every single day, but a good leader always over communicates. And they do that in a servant leader fashion. And you're probably saying, I've heard this word 1,000 times, servant leadership. What does that mean? It simply means that you are there to serve your employees, right? You're there to make sure that they are successful, and you do it by example, and you're not just going to tell them to do something and just expect it to be done with no guidelines or the way that you like things to be done put in place whatsoever. So always make sure that you over communicate. Some other things is ask your employees how you can help them, right? Because if they're out in the field all day working, they may be running into an obstacle that they have. One of the things I hate, a workaround developed for it, right? So you want to avoid them having workarounds, and the way that you avoid that is talking with them. Go out and say, what can I do to make you more effective or make your job easier? Because when you do that, the jobs take less time, and most of the time it's better quality, which means you're going to make more money and you're going to be a more effective business by being a better leader. Another thing that you want to look at too is, what are you paying your employees, right? My father always used to say, right? You pay for what you get. Pay your employees a good starting salary, right? So a lot of people, they especially in the lawn landscape industry, right? The biggest hurdle is quality of labor. But when you really boil it down, it also comes to how much are you offering to pay your employees, right? If you're paying minimum wage, you're gonna get minimum wage quality that comes through it, right? Because you're not offering a good incentive to come and work for your company, which is why I'm a huge fan of paying at least $15 an hour starting out in the industry, right? That's because a lot of people know that there's been talk about changing the minimum wage. It's not there yet, but it's also a considerable amount more money than they could make at McDonald's or anything else. You're also probably going to attract talent that has experience in your industry, and that means you're probably going to keep them longer too, because one thing that we've seen a lot is bad leaders, right? They'll hire employees. Those employees will gain more experience, and because they hate their job, because they hate their leader, they jump ship at the first option that they have so that they can go and work for a more skilled leader as they go forward. So be sure you always keep an eye out for that, and always pay a good starting wage. The other thing that I'm a huge fan of is just caring, right? Caring about your employees. It's actually something I'll brag on her a little bit, even though you don't see her a lot. Michelle from our company, right? She does a really good job of actually caring and going above and beyond to communicate with our employees. And typically that's through food, right? They always say the way to a person's heart is through their stomach. And that can't be more true for your employees too. So if you were to buy donuts, drive out to the job site that they're at and just give them something nice, a donut or an energy drink or anything, it shows that you actually care. You went out of your way to drive to the location that they're at, to give them something that they didn't have or necessarily ask for, but it instantly breaks down those barriers. And what you'll find is two things, right? One, you'll find that your employees communicate with you more effectively once you break bread, right? So instead of having that cold boss-employee relationship, you're actually sitting down, you're breaking bread with them, and they're more open to sharing difficulties that they're having, whether on a personal level or at the actual job site itself, so that you can find out those problems more rapidly so that you can provide solutions for them. Because your job as a leader, believe it or not, is to not have all the answers, but to remove obstacles that are in your employees' ways, right? That is how you will become an effective company, is by removing the obstacles that you have currently in your organization so that you can continue to scale and grow. Another thing that it does is it actually shows that you'll show up at job sites, right? So it also builds in a little bit of accountability that they don't know when the boss is going to show up with donuts or with anything else like that. But it builds in a little bit of that accountability and loyalty to where they're always going to be working. They're always going to be trying to do their best because the boss might show up with donuts. It's a great reward for them, but it's a great way that you stay connected with those folks that are in the field as well. The last thing that I wanted to touch on in this is going to be just something simple, and that's finding out who they are as a person, right? Because they're coming into work for you, but who are they as a person? What makes them tick? What are their goals, right? So if their goal is to travel to Peru, right? What are you going to do as a business owner to help them meet their personal goals? Because if they are personally fulfilled, that means that they're going to bring their best every day to the job site. They're going to come in not saying, I'm never going to make it to Peru, or I'm never going to meet my goals. I'm working a dead-end job. But if you go above and beyond, you find out what makes them tick, and then you help them meet their personal goals, it's going to change everything, because then you have employees that show up, who care, who want to provide great quality of service because their employer cares. You as a leader care. I could talk about leadership all day long. There's a bunch of great resources for leaders, but I think it's one of the main things that we fail as business owners, myself included. It's not something that you just stop improving on, right? It's something you constantly have to improve, because when you're a good leader, it means your crew leaders are being a good leader. It also means that you identify the people who aren't good leaders and you can get them out of your organization faster. So with that, I know it's a lot of information. I know it's a broad topic, but if you guys have any questions whatsoever, if you want to learn some tips and tricks from the Lawn Buddy stack, what we do so that we can be effective leaders in our own organization and how that can apply to yours, feel free to reach out to us. We'd love to talk to you because we're more than just technology. We want to be able to lead through technology, and so that way you can lead and steward your business to success. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to comment below, email us, or schedule a time to talk with us. Thank you guys so much.